we build muscle when we're not exercising. Hey guys, welcome back to It's Pretty Simple. My name is Nikita Kohli and I'm your host. It's Pretty Simple is a podcast, health, wellness, fitness, and nutrition, where I try to simplify things for you that you can use in your actual journey. So today's episode is about recovery. I want to talk about recovery because I feel like it's one thing that a lot of people don't put as important. So you started your fitness journey and you're really on it and you're training and you're training and you're training. And you feel like, yeah, I got to do more. And that's great. You've got the newfound motivation, you've got the discipline, and you're going at it. But recovery is an extremely important part of the entire process. So why is it one of the most important parts of the entire process? Because if you are putting your body through strain all the time, but you are not taking the time to recover, then you might just undo a lot of the work that you have done and all the effort that you have put in. So we're going to break that down and we're going to go into understanding what recovery really is and discuss how you can actually implement these strategies into your routine without making it too complicated. It will help you better your performance. It will help you make sure that you are not getting injured. And it will also help making sure that you have more consistent progress. If you are not thinking about your recovery, you could be just going, doing amazing. And then boom, injury, you got to take a break. So we want to avoid that. And we also want to reap the benefits of what we're doing in the gym, which is so important, right? Like, why are you going to the gym? You want the benefits. So you got to look at your recovery as well if you actually want to gain something out of it. Recovery is not an optional part of the process, and it does not mean that you just sit on your ass and do nothing. Okay, so we're going to dive into this. So, overtraining. So I want to start by addressing overtraining. It's something that I see way too often. And, I see people, they want to add more days to their workouts. They want to do more because more is always better. And there's nothing really wrong with that if you are looking after your recovery. I mean, I've had times in the past, especially in my 20s, where I was teaching spin, I was lifting, I was doing so many things at one time, and it was go. And at that time, I was not taking care of my recovery. And I would just hit burnout. And I have had a few injuries, nothing like too serious, but it is because of not taking the time to recover. Nowadays, I still sometimes go through phases where it's like go, more, but I am very, very aware and in tune with what I need to do with my recovery. Therefore, I don't have injuries. I don't really feel burnt out, and I see results happening. So despite putting in a lot of work and despite being really, really active, I still manage. So let's go into overtraining. Other than the fact that if you're not recovering, you can actually get injured and fatigued and burnt out, overtraining can also elevate your cortisol levels, which can then lead to chronic inflammation. I had that happen to me once on my lat, and it was horrible. And guess what I did? I went to physio and I continued to practice pull-ups every day because that was my goal. And I was overdoing it. I was not taking care of my recovery for that muscle group. And yeah, I just had chronic inflammation. I think it lasted like 2 months. It was horrible, but the mindset was different back then. And I would definitely not do it again. Chronic inflammation is obviously going to hinder your progress. And it's also going to weaken your immune system. So you'll be falling sick even more. You won't be able to push your muscles because they're constantly inflamed. And it's not just about being tired, but your body's physiological response to constant stress is not a good thing. So what does that mean to you? And how do you know if you are overtraining? So if you feel like your performance is not as good as it was and is decreasing, you feel like you are plateauing, you're not able to push with the weights as much, and you're always completely tired after your workouts and you've got constant muscle pain, then you're likely in a state of overtraining. Recovery isn't a weakness. It is a necessity. So take that thought of no pain, no gain out of your head. And there's no need to push your body past its limit. Like, we all know that we can push, but you need to know when you hit limit. So one of the most important things with recovery is sleep. And I know you hear it all the time, but it really is so important. There's a big part of the fitness culture that's like gym bros or whatever, where it's like, you can sleep when you're dead. And, if I've slept at midnight and I'm going to the gym at 5 a.m., then I'm going to get less sleep, and that's not okay. Your sleep is extremely important. Like, you're better off going an hour later and getting enough sleep. Because if you're not sleeping enough, your body is not recovering properly. So all the hard work that you're putting yourself through could be for nothing. So sleep, extremely important. Sleep plays a critical role in muscle repair, in memory consolidation, in hormone regulation, and especially growth hormone. So if you are not sleeping enough, your growth hormone is not working. And the key for muscle building and repair is growth hormone. If you're female and you're not sleeping well, it can also irregulate a lot of other hormones. And for men as well, your cortisol levels will increase. If you're somebody who has PCOS, you're increasing your cortisol levels, which is no bueno. Like, you don't want to do that with PCOS because you already have elevated cortisol levels. So what's it going to do? So if you're not sleeping well, you're going to be hindering your progress and your recovery. So how much sleep do you really need? It's different from person to person. I mean, some people say like, oh, I can function on 5 hours sleep. You may feel like you have the energy and everything, but our bodies do require more sleep. So you should be aiming for between 7 to 9 hours of sleep. 8 is great. But if you are a woman or a man and you're training excessively, then you want to be going 9 or maybe a little bit more than 9 as well. And no, it's not excessive, and no, it's not too much sleep. It is smart. And, nowadays a lot of people are working from home. So you do make your own schedule, and you should be prioritizing your sleep over going to the gym, because I'm not saying don't go to the gym. I just mean you can shift the gym a little bit later if you haven't had enough sleep, because what's the point of not recovering well the night before, going to the gym and putting in all the work, right? So you want to make sure that you are doing that. And saying, okay, I can function on 5 hours of sleep and then I'm just going to have coffee and I'm going to go to the gym in the morning. It's really dumb, because all you're going to do is just mask the problem and not actually solve it. So make sure you're getting your sleep. So another thing that comes under recovery is active recovery. Why you need to keep moving. So active recovery might be one of the most misunderstood concepts. I see people on their active recovery days saying, oh, I'm on an active recovery day today. I can go out for a run, for a 5K run. Active recovery day, I will do, a HIIT workout because the rest of the week I'm lifting. That's not active recovery. So active recovery is not pushing yourself through another intense workout. It is about doing low intensity activities. So going for a walk, going on a chill bike ride, doing a bit of yoga, mobility, stretching, and just promoting blood flow and helping your muscles recover without pushing your body. It's also going to help you have less muscle soreness, less injuries, and improve circulation in comparison to people who do nothing on their rest days. So when you have your day off, I encourage you, go for a walk. I did a episode on walking as well. This is something that we should be doing anyway. Mobility work is great, and anything low intensity, but don't do full on workouts, because that's going to defeat the purpose of an active recovery. And if you are feeling really exhausted and really done and you have overtrained, you can go for a walk and just not do anything. And some days, if you want to just do nothing, that's fine too, but don't do it every single week. But it's super important to make sure that you are moving in some way on your active recovery days. But there is a misconception of what an active recovery day is. Let's say you're a runner and you do, half marathons. Going and doing a 5K run on your active recovery day is not really active recovery, because your pace is going to be faster. That's logical. Don't add too much stress on your body, and make sure you're facilitating recovery. All right, the next thing on the list is nutrition for recovery. So protein is not optional. Whether you are on your rest day, on your active recovery day, on your day off, you still need to be having the same amount of protein that you were having throughout the week. A lot of people tell me, oh, I didn't train today, I'm not going to have a protein shake. And if you haven't got your protein intake from your food and it's your day off, the gym, you still need to have your protein shake if you haven't hit your targets yet. And I'm going to explain why. It is a non-negotiable. So when you're strength training, we're causing micro tears in your muscle fibers. So these tears need to be repaired. And what is the building blocks of your muscle? Protein. So you need to still be fueling yourself with protein so that you can build muscle during recovery as well. We build muscle in our sleep. We build muscle on our days off. We build muscle when we're not exercising. So the usual, you need to be having between 25 to 35 and sometimes even 40 depending on what your goals are to be building muscle and promoting protein synthesis. So to help with your muscle recovery and growth, you need to be having protein. Another really important thing with nutrition is carbohydrates. So one thing that I've noticed people tend to do is when it's their rest day, so you've got two types of people. You've got people who take their rest day as a cheat day, which is absolutely ridiculous. And then you've got the people who on their rest days think they need to reduce their calories because they're not moving. And the first option is cut out carbs, right? So you cannot do that. First of all, you should be eating the exact same amount of calories every single day, whether you are going to the gym or you are not. Unless you are doing something like carb cycling, which is a completely different thing. You should be eating the same amount of calories, whether it's your rest day or training day. Carbohydrates replenish the glycogen stores that we use during our week of training, movement, and any intense workout, right? So if you skip out on the carbs, you're not going to recover as efficiently. And then your performance, the next workout is going to be pretty shit. So carbs is very important on your rest days, post-workout, pre-workout. It is your energy source. And therefore, we need to keep making sure that we are replenishing it and not just fully depleting it. It's like a car with fuel. If you see your gas tank going down to empty, you are going to fill it up, right? Carbs work the same way. It is the energy source for our bodies and for our brain function and all our functions. And before anybody comes at me saying carbs are not essential for living and staying alive, yeah, you're right. It's not essential for staying alive, but it is essential if you want to train. It is essential if you want to have energy. It is essential if you want to have cognitive thinking and functionality. So why do we need to eat the same amount of calories throughout the week as we do in the weeks that we're training? Because we just do. It makes no sense to be cutting down your calories just for the days that you're not moving. What matters is the entire week. So when let's say you're on a fat loss journey, right? When we're looking at your calories, we're not looking at the daily that's going to make the difference. The difference is going to happen at the end of the week. So we look at an overall number. So your total number of calories consumed over 7 days, total number of macronutrients consumed by the end of the week. When we look at the calories there, we look at whether you are in a surplus or whether you're in a deficit. If you go day by day, you'll always have ups and downs. It does happen. But if you're trying to stay as close to the same number every single week, then the chances of you actually being in the deficit that you want to be in is going to be much higher. So try not to play too much with the amount of calories that you're eating. You need to be as consistent as you can with that. It's super important, especially if you have fat loss goals. And also if you're somebody who is trying to bulk up and you're in a surplus, that is also important. Some people think that, we can just eat whatever I want because I'm in a surplus. But what is your goal? You want to build more muscle? You want to have more intense workouts? And you want to get a bit bigger as well? Girls, you want a booty? So yes, we do need to eat more. But again, we have to kind of stay as consistent as possible throughout the entire process. Another important part of recovery is stretching and mobility. And I know a lot of you are skipping it, right? I'm pretty sure that you are. It is so important though. Let's just do a shoulder stretch. Let's just do a quick quad stretch. No, you have to do stretching and mobility. One of the most important reasons is avoiding injury. I don't think you want to get injured. A lot of people look at it just like a cool down routine. I mean, if you go to gyms and you join group classes, normally the stretch at the end is it's okay, it's a cool down routine, but I highly recommend that you do your own stretch after and do a little bit of mobility as well. So why do we need to stretch? It's a way to maintain your muscles' elasticity, because when we are training, our muscles get stiff, it becomes tight, and we want to be able to move flexibly and get more range of motion. So if you are constantly training and you are not stretching, you're going to reduce your range of motion, which is going to lead to improper technique, bad form, injury. If you are not stretching, you can also experience more DOMS, which is delayed onset muscle soreness. And that's not fun to have constantly. And you shouldn't even be having that constantly unless you are overtraining and not stretching, which are two things you don't want to be doing. So I would say try to include at least 10 minutes of mobility before your session. And then after your session, do stretching for 10 to 15 minutes on the muscle groups that you have worked. And then on your active recovery days, do mobility. Super important. This is going to make sure that you are injury-free and flexible. Another great tool for recovery is massages and foam rolling. I personally like to go for a massage once every 2 weeks. I'm very active and I need it. And if you are an active person, you should be going for a 60 or 90-minute massage. It is going to benefit you with your recovery. And not just a relaxing massage, but a deep tissue massage. Really get in there. And if you can't go for massages regularly, then get yourself a foam roller. They're not expensive. Do it after your workout and also do it before your workout. So if you do it before your workout, you are going to help activate your muscles. If you do it after your workout, you're going to be reducing muscle tightness and also helping with blood flow. So it's going to help you speed up your recovery. It's going to help you reduce muscle soreness, and it's also going to help you improve your range of motion. So the takeaway here is simple. Recovery is not optional. It is part of the entire process. If you want to continue training injury-free, if you want to maximize on your results, and if you want to keep seeing progress, you need to be taking care of your recovery. You need to be prioritizing your sleep, your nutrition, your active recovery days, and also taking proper care of your muscle through foam rolling, massages, etc. Recovery isn't about feeling better or just taking a day off. It is to perform better. So if you want to actually reap the results and actually go further with whatever you're doing, then start taking it seriously. Thanks so much for tuning in today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you got something out of it, and I hope you realize how important recovery is. If you like this episode, please make sure to hit like and share it with a friend. Share it with a friend who you know always runs away before stretching at the end of their workouts. All right, guys, until next time, train smart, recover smarter, stay fit, stay strong, stay healthy, and I will see you next week.